The Ruddell family, on my father's side, originally came to America from Ireland. Many generations passed, and in 1912, Howard Bain Ruddell, my grandfather, was born in the Northwest. Around 8 years later, Frances Elizabeth McMahon, later Frances Ruddell, was born also in the Northwest in 1920. Frances's early life was highly influenced by the Great Depression. Frances grew up the daughter of a married couple that worked on a train depot. Because of the Depression, her family learned to be very thrifty and careful with their money. Many people who lost everything traveled by train to find work. And Frances's family tried hard to feed travelers whenever they could. She strived to go to college, but her father died her senior year of high school, and she had to immediately find work to support her sister and mother. Howard and Frances met in Port Angeles, Washington, and they married during World War II in 1943, and they had to move to Seattle to help support the war effort. Howard sought to enlist in the military, but he was denied because of some minor medical condition. Howard, having been in the car business with General Motors, switched occupations because of the war. Car production was halted. GM built tanks and planes instead, and went to work on the construction of an airport. Frances went to work for a telephone company. When the war ended in 1945, the two moved back to Port Angeles, and Howard went back to selling cars with his friend who started Aiken Motors. You know, Howard bought his friend's business in 1951 and named it Ruddell, Oldsmobile, and Cadillac. Yeah. Business was moving right along, as there was a demand for cars since they weren't made during the World War.
Kids with guns, taking over, but it won't be long, they mesmerize, skeletons.
The Ruddell family truly felt the baby boom after the war. Howard and Frances had not 2, not 4, not 6, 8 children. Mac, the oldest child, was born in 1946, and John, the youngest, also my father, was born in 1958, prime baby-booming years. The Ruddell family also felt the influence of the Vietnam War. Bob Ruddell enlisted as a Marine. Many people worried, especially since the only contact back then was the very occasional letter, no cell phones or internet. It was not all happy times, especially since many people didn't agree with the war. Though fortunately, Bob survived. Something else that shaped the Ruddell history was the oil crisis in the 1970s. There was a large shortage and raising of prices of oil. People in America were used to driving classy old cars like this. The thing was, they only got 10 miles per gallon on a really good day. This made the oil crisis an even bigger issue.
Cadillac's newest marvel of styling and engineering is now at your Cadillac dealers. The 1958 Cadillac is brilliant.
Additionally, the government established more pollution regulations for cars that limited horsepower and, despite making the air cleaner, lowered gas mileage. This really hurt GM's business. The control of the Ruddell Automall was passed down from Howard to Mac Ruddell when Howard retired in 1975. The car business was later passed down to the present owner, my cousin Howard Ruddell. Due to a steady decrease in GM sales during the 2000s, GM has been working to make more efficient and practical cars. The Ruddell Automall took a change recently by adding Hyundai into its arsenal. Even though this didn't mean bringing in cooler cars, it still helped with the business. But wait, don't get all upset. Howard still sells awesome cars, like this one with over 500 horsepower. Perfectly convenient. Despite the success of the family business, John, my father, accepted a job right out of college with an accounting firm called Deloitte & Touche. John married Jennifer Cade in 1985 in Redmond, Washington. The two moved to Seattle and had 3 kids. Some years later, they went from rainy Seattle to sunny Los Angeles, where we hold down the fort. Michael, 22. Alex, 20. Jack, 16.
Felt like this before it starts to show. There's only 2 ways